Hello, everybody. My name is Krish Kanal, and these are just honestly some thoughts I've been looking at over the couple of years recently that I would like to share. Recently, over this past year, I've been studying people, trying to understand who I'm around, trying to read into how people act and what people think and what people see. And then I've also connected a lot of this because of my class, a singular class that I have has helped me understand that I was never wrong about what I've been thinking about, because psychology in itself, you need to research it, yes, but I feel like to understand psychology itself, you need to be able to focus on somebody else, to understand how somebody else's mind works personally before you can fully understand the whole picture of psychology itself. So this is just me as starting myself in a way to understand psychology. So what I've noticed first are emotions. Emotions are passive while your thoughts are much more active. But every single memory you have has always been tied into an emotion. You may feel fear whenever you were jumping off jumping off 3 feet because you were scared of what was going to happen in the bottom. You remember that because it was also tied into an emotion. The emotion is like the leech, while your thought itself is the bulb on top of it. And people use that as a reason to almost push away emotions. But I feel like that in itself is just giving more your emotions a lot more acknowledgement than you should. Because when you try to understand your emotions, you start to understand that people are always controlled by them no matter what. People will try to do everything that's happy. People also try to do everything to beat their sadness. And honestly, people think, "Oh, it would life would be amazing without being sad ever in your life." But if you never had sadness or guilt or disgust ever in your life, could you ever truly be happy? And that's the question. Is happiness really you, or is happiness just what you want to feel? And your thoughts almost try to understand your happiness and why it happens. And honestly, people try to understand it so much that they can't, because they're thinking about it in so many different ways and so many different how, like, I can't even comprehend it fully myself. It's such a vast way because your brain itself is so complex. Every single emotion happens for a reason. Whenever I felt whenever I felt regret, it wasn't just my brain, it was my chest that felt different. Whenever I feel happy, it's not just my brain, it's my entire body feeling energized. Whenever I feel sadness, it's not my brain, it's my face crying down tears. It's almost as if your emotions are the reason every single thing that happens in your body exists. Stress is reasons why so many people just give up. And so many people that try to continue even with that stress start to have physical problems and physical issues with their body. And it just shows that our emotions and thoughts help conjure up our memories, and they try to help us understand how our memory felt and how we truly felt about ourselves. And the overstimulation you can get while being somewhere or understanding, it's just your brain trying to understand so many things, and your memories just not your memories, your emotions are also trying to understand and grasp everything as well. Whenever you think one thing but you feel another emotion, that's when overstimulation starts to occur, and the more thoughts and more effects start, and they just continue on until your frontal cortex just gives up. It just tries to leave, it tries to fight back. That's why whenever somebody is overstimulated, they just tend to go away, or they try to keep on talking louder, or they keep on pushing themselves to be better, or keep on trying to push themselves to yell or shout. It's not their fault. We need to stop blaming them. It's how everybody is. People just change. You don't understand what's going on in someone else's true head. You will never understand because you're not them. I can understand that even if somebody else is acting different or something is wrong with them, that doesn't give me any right to say that they're in the wrong, because they have their own way of thinking. Who am I to judge somebody else because they're able to understand something differently? And honestly, that leads to another topic to me. what is intelligence truly? Is intelligence what you know, or is intelligence your learning capacity? See, I believe intelligence itself is your learning capacity, and knowledge and wiseness is what you know. That's why older men and older women are considered a lot more wise, but I believe kids can be considered a lot more intelligent. For example, we are now limited by what we learn, no matter what we do. We are limited by the fears we've had instilled in us. We're limited by what knowledge we already have, and we're limited by all of that, and that controls how we think. There's no way to change it because that's how you were taught, that's how you learned it. And it just shows that limits come up to you all the time. But is the limit, you can use that limit to understand things better as well. And intelligence in itself is what I know. No, intelligence itself is not what I know, but it's my learning capacity. And I believe a baby is the most intelligent human being in the world, because a baby is able to do whatever they want whenever they want. They only feel like they're in charge because they have the intelligence to understand that they exist. And that's what I believe is their first piece of knowledge, that a child can exist. And that's why whenever you teach a language to a child, that's why so many kids that are bilingual, most people were not bilingual in their 40s. They started off being bilingual when they were a kid, when they were a child, or when they were a baby, because they were taught in two different languages at the same time. It's almost as if they're able to have a higher learning capacity and a faster learning capacity compared to a teenager, an adult, or anybody else, really, because it shows that a child is a blank slate. They still have space to be drawn on, while whenever you're a teenager, your space starts to fill. Your first paragraph fully fills up, and then you have to understand what happened to your first paragraph, and you try to translate that into your second and your third. It's almost as if an essay has one singular conclusion, and you have to use every single paragraph to continue what you're writing. And it really intrigues me how people look at children as if they're idiots, really, like they're dumb, like they don't understand. But I believe they understand more than we do, because a baby is able to comprehend different ways and different things. It's almost as if they're pushed farther and pushed more ahead, even while being such a small creature. While more wiser adults, they are telling their kid to stop doing this, stop doing that. An older man or an older woman will tell you this is not good for you, this will not be your future. And this is why teenagers, kids, and younger adults try to tell them that, oh my God, but times have changed. Yes, times have changed, but you won't change how another older man, older woman, or an adult, or anybody else in that sense will fully think, because that's how they were brought up. Times have changed, but they don't have the intelligence to fully comprehend that times have changed. They have the knowledge to understand that time have changed, and it can be different to compare to them and their child, but the knowledge limits them fully. They're limited by everything, and they use that knowledge to build up their different fears that they have, and they also push that towards their children and push that towards kids and babies and toddlers. That's why so many kids recently are afraid to go to school, because adults tell them, oh, it's going to be extremely difficult, it's going to teach you to be better, but kids just want to exist. I'm not saying school is a bad thing. School is where you learn. School is where you understand more things, because a baby can't fully understand how life is without gaining the knowledge overall. And knowledge fully dims down intelligence, but it gives you more understanding of the world ahead of you. And that just shows that intelligence and knowledge don't go hand in hand. There's always a barrier between them called understanding. And to understand is to have knowledge and use that knowledge to build your intelligence. And that's honestly all I can say here to say. This was just things that have been brought up in my brain, what I've been thinking about recently. I thank you guys for your time if you fully watched this video. And this is sincerely Krish Kanal.